Hey all, this is Once a Future Gamer and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. Last week we went back into Gen 6 and had a run around the region, seeing if I could beat it using just a single Croagunk. A run that was immensely fun and quite surprising in places. This week though, we're going back to Gen 2 and asking the question of if I can beat Pokemon Silver using just a single Yanma. You know what? Yanma is actually better than I thought it was. We've got a 390 base stat total, with our speed being pretty good with 95, our special attack being a lot better than I thought it would be as well at 75, plus our regular attack and HP being good at 65. We are bug and flying, yep, I'm doing Gen 2 with that type combo game, meaning that we're weak to flying, fire, electric, ice, and 4 times weak to rock. We quad resist, fighting and grass, plus a regular resistance to bug. Looking at the moveset, and yeah, this is where the challenge probably comes. In Silver, barring Detect, we only learn normal type moves naturally. In Crystal, we'd have got Wing Attack, so that's why I picked Silver to give us more of a challenge because we get Swift instead. At least though, we do get Foresight for Ghosts. Do we get much that's good via TM? Well, if we can make it past the first 8 gyms, we can get Solar Beam, and if we can get to Kanto, then we can get Giga Drain. But that aside, Return probably will be the best damaging move we can get. I may get some tactical use out of Headbutt because we will outspeed a lot of things. Plus, I think I might have to utilise Thief to give us some coverage. At least it will be handy on stuff that resists normal but has bad special defence. I'm looking at you, rock types. So then, predictions. I can see Whitney's Miltank being awkward with the rollout technique. We're pretty frail defensively. Morty is likely going to be horrific given what we'll have to do to beat him. The Steel Gym won't be fun either because I think we'll struggle to damage her unless we're severely overleveled. I can see us struggling versus both Karen and Lance. So, the rules. In combat, I can only use Yanma. Other Pokemon will be needed for HMs but unable to fight. Only held items and Pokeballs in combat, but healing items permitted outside of battle. And last of all, no glitches or exploits. If you do enjoy what you see, then like, subscribe and ring the bell. Getting the game set up, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Yanma, so that I can do the whole run with it. I don't think I've ever seen a Yanma in the wild in Gen 2. I know someone had to phone you to tell you about it, but I don't recall it ever happening. Or if it did, going out of my way to use one. I replaced Chikorita so that our rival will have Typhlosion, probably the hardest for us to fight. I nickname our Yanma Sparks because, well, dragonfly, and it's the first thing that sprang to mind. You do not get points for guessing the reference, but if you do, tell me the reference, it's good for the algorithm. Actually, the first thing that sprang to mind was a 90s cartoon named Dragonflies with a Z on the end, which was about dragon riders doing search and rescue in a post-apocalyptic world. Didn't really fit the narrative. I go do a little grinding away to get us set up for the start of the run, and the first major fight is versus our rival in Cherry Grove City. Imagine the scene. We've been sent to run a harmless errand, we've been given an oversized dragonfly for the job, and now we have to defend ourselves against the red-headed edgelord. The fight itself is pretty easy. We're a few levels higher, and we can dually quick attack his Cyndaquil until it goes down. We get a crit off the first move and take it down the second, only getting tagged with Leah in exchange. So, the original footage of this fight and the game opening screwed up, and I had to re-record this later. It didn't change much. This was the first major screw-up with recording in this run. Up next is the fight with Faulkner and his flying types, so it doesn't really get easier. At least we hit somewhat harder than we did the last time I did a Pokemon Silver challenge, that being with Ledyba. We actually lost that first attempt, and that was quite sobering, losing to Gen 2 Faulkner. Here we have more fortune. Sparks can 2-hit Pidgey with quick attack. We only get tagged with a tackle in exchange. Pidgeotto though is harder. It knows Ghost, so it can hit us with super effective damage, and despite us being a few levels higher, they do cut a decent chunk out of our health. Still, we keep quick attacking and hoping for the best. I could have gone for double team, but I figured that attack was the best form of self-preservation here. We send it crashing down and we take the victory. The next major fight is in the next town over after going through Union Cave. We've got the battle with Bugsy, and it's a battle of bug supremacy, or bug remacy, as perhaps it should never be known. This will be interesting. First thing is first versus Metapod, who is the least dangerous of his 3 Pokemon. I put up 3 double teams to make us even more evasive. This might help. Not getting hit is good. We can knock Metapod out with Sonic Boom and quick attacks throughout the fight. even if it does try to protect itself with Harden, and we do come out mostly unscathed. Sparks and Cypher trade quick attacks, but I figure that the Sonic Boom does just about more damage, and so I fire a barrage of them at it instead, free hitting it out of the fight. The fact that it does land 3 quick attacks through double team is somewhat unsettling, I will admit, but it seems to be perfect game logic. If Bugsy had used double team once, I'd probably have missed 12 moves on the bounce. Kakuna does poison us, but we're able to take it out fairly quickly with Sonic Boom and quick attacks, giving us the second badge. Before we can leave Azalea Town, we do have a rather unpleasant surprise. Well, not really, as I've played this game a lot over my life, and our rival shows up, meaning we've got to fight him as well. Again, this was horrible in the Ledybar run, but we at least have foresight to help deal with his Ghastly, and that is the first thing we go for. Ghastly puts us to sleep with Hypnosis and then lashes us with Lick. We wake up and hit it with a quick attack that doesn't finish it. Then it lands a Lick, its one and only chance to paralyse us, and of course it gets the status effect! We take it down, but given his next Pokemon is Quilava, it is fair to say that our chances of winning have taken somewhat of a nosedive. We do land some quick attacks, but thanks to it using Smokescreen, we do miss a Sonic Boom, and it's a very easy thing for it to land 3 Embers over the course of the duel and end us. Well, that didn't go well. As soon as Ghastly went for Lick, I knew what was going to happen. Mind you, I just assume that's going to happen every turn. I grab a few more levels and then head out to face him again, placing a Paralysed Cure Berry on Sparks, because apparently they didn't come in flavours before Gen 3, which is just weird. If our luck was horrible before, everything that could go right here does. So, we foresight Ghastly, who then misses Hypnosis on us. That's pretty good, but then we crit it with Quick Attack. Even better! So far, a 1000-fold improvement. Versus Quilava, we hit a few Sonic Booms, and it also misses Smokescreen on us. Go on! Sure, it does land an Ember, but we can finish it off with Quick Attack before things go south. And last of all is Zubat, and we hit a Quick Attack, but it survives, and for the final stroke of luck, it misses Supersonic before we finish it off. I will need even more luck for the next gym, for it is the time of Whitney and the Satanic Cow that is up next, and I'm really not looking forward to this one. I will need double team for sure. I also replace Sonic Boom with Headbutt, because if we can move first, then we get the flinch chance. We wander through her gym and begin the fight, and it is a deeply satisfying one. We manage to get 4 double teams up versus Clefairy, and it misses with some attacks before failing with others. It does get an attack boost from a Sharpen created by Metronome, but it did not do it much good as it never landed a blow on us. We hit it with a Headbutt and a Quick Attack to take it out. A lot of groundwork there for the Miltank next. We smash a Headbutt into the Demonic Bovine and get a flinch. Very satisfying considering all the times it has hit me with Stomp and gotten the flinch over the years. It misses a Stomp of its own after another Headbutt, and we very quickly turn it into burgers. Yeehaw! I think that went about as well as it could. Pretty over-leveled admittedly, but I'm going to need to be about level 40 at least for the Ghost Gym with what we've got to do, I reckon. At least. Yeah, the next fight is going to suck massively. When I hit Ecruteak, I want as many levels as I can get before I go into Morty, so I swing by the Burn Tower to face the rival there ahead of the battle. I'm not confident about this one, so I guess we'll have to see how we do. Between Haunter and Magnemite, it goes really badly. So, we do get the Foresight up on Haunter, which means we can hit it with our moves, but it lands Curse. So, suddenly, we're on a timer. We don't take damage on turns when we knock his Pokemon out, so we go into Magnemite with full health after headbutting Haunter down. We do less than half on Magnemite, plus we don't get the flinch with Headbutt, so we take damage, and then it lands Supersonic. We don't land another hit throughout the fight, hitting ourselves and getting tagged with a Thundershock for a defeat. Nuts. We make another try at level 37, and I figure that it's probably not overkill given what Haunter did to us last time. And we'll need it for Morty, I'm pretty certain of it. Worst thing is, after Morty, you can do gyms 5, 6 and 7 in any order, but I do need to beat him to progress. Haunter hits us with Curse after we Foresight it, but we take it down with Headbutt. Magnemite is a 2-hit with Headbutt, we don't get the flinch, and as well as Curse damage, we get hit with Sonic Boom. At least it wasn't Supersonic, so there is that. At least it wasn't Thundershock either. Quilava is a 2-hit with Headbutt, and thankfully we do get the flinch there because being set on fire probably wouldn't have done us a whole lot of good. Last is Zubat, who we down with a single Headbutt. I even head over to the Lake of Rage to level over there. I know that there's a hidden power TM up there, and I'm intrigued as to what it might do, so I even head to get that. While I am walking, let's talk about what's ongoing on the channel. So, I did start a playthrough of Pokemon Insurgence at recommendation of one comment. I don't think any episodes of it will be up yet, but it's an ongoing thing and you'll see it sooner or later. Interesting story so far. Still doing Let's Go Pikachu and Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX on alternate weeks, so we will have to work out how it's going to be if I'm doing a third Pokemon playthrough at the same time. I do want to do the GameCube ones too, Colosseum and Gale of Darkness at some point. I'm still battling away at Fable Anniversary. I truly have no idea how far I am into that one. I feel like I'm not too far from the end of Resident Evil 0 at the time of writing, so we will see how that one plays out. Next one will likely be Revelations 2 and then the remakes of 1, 2 and 3. Challenge wise then, the Emerald with contest moves video broke all my previous records. It did really well, so thanks for watching. This is the first chance I get to say that since the previous video was all recorded up before it hit a boom. It quadrupled the previous best number of views on one of my videos, so for a few days, when the views were going up in the hundreds, I was in Nirvana. So, thank you again from the bottom of my heart for that. Next week, we're going to Gen 3 and taking on Pokemon Fire Red with just a single Duskull. Something I'm sure that will be intriguing. As always, if you have any ideas for challenges, drop them in the comments section, or there's links to my Twitter and my Discord in the description of the video. I test out my hidden power type and I work out a few things. First, it's not ground type since it doesn't do super effective damage to a Flaffy and it also hits a Noctowl. It is resisted though by a Girafarig, and after consulting Bulbapedia, I realise that Girafarig only has one resistance. The friggin' Psychic type! So, unless I'm mistaken, my Yanma has the Psychic type hidden power, and I thought I was going to get walled by the Ghost Gym. A Venonat confirms it. I wish I hadn't replaced Quick Attack, but oh well. This goes ridiculously well versus Morty. There's probably an argument to say I have more trouble walking through his gym on the invisible path, because with a Psychic type hidden power, this got incredibly easy. Ghastly goes down to it, and that's one. Haunter number 1 is also one hit with hidden power. We're halfway there. Gengar does survive hidden power, but I did figure that might well be the case. My luck even takes a massive turn when it misses Hypnosis, and we can take it down with a second hit for another knockout. Last is the second Haunter, and once again we hidden power it for a victory. That was pretty sweet smooth. And you know what? I think the fighting gym might be too. I decide to head over to Cianwood City first to do that very gym, figuring that out of the options I have, Chuck will surely be the easiest. I think we'll struggle with the Steel Gym, and the Ice Gym can hit us for super effective damage, whereas we're pretty well suited versus fighting types. On the subject of Chuck, I do have a plan for an upcoming challenge using just his team and moves, but that will be in the future. When the fight begins, we hit Primeape with Headbutt, hoping for the flinch. That never comes and we get hit with Leer before blasting it with hidden power. That takes it out and suddenly we're up against his ace, Poliwrath. Headbutt doesn't quite do half its health, but we do flinch it before landing another Headbutt that doesn't quite finish it off. We don't get another flinch though, and it hits us with Surf for pretty meagre damage before we take it down with hidden power. 5 badges down. I head over to Mahogany Town again for the Lake of Rage and Rocket's hideout stuff, figuring I'll do the Ice Gym before I face off with Jasmine. When the time comes to fight Price, a gym leader who canonically is the 7th but has lower levels than the 6th gym leader, I'd say we're about as ready as we'll ever be. I always hate slidey ice puzzles in gyms, but at least there's only, I want to say 3 of them in the series, and of the 3, this is probably the second worst one. Mind you, it is a different puzzle in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The Ice Gym in Gen 5 is easiest. The one in Gen 4 in Sinnoh is the most irritating, full stop, gym puzzles wise. The fight begins, we smash a headbutt into Seal, who survives on red health and hits Icy Wind before we down it with hidden power. Dugong is next. It also survives headbutt, and again, there's no flinch before we get blasted with Aurora Beam. Still, no stat drop, and we're still in good condition, and we down it with another headbutt. Piloswine is a 2-hit with headbutt, but again, no flinch, and we get hit with a Fury attack, which I suppose could be worse. It does no Blizzard, and while the Piloswine line is very much not a special attacking one, it's a powerful move and anything could happen. Look at the 3 main ice types they introduced in Gen 2, Swinub line, Sneasel line and Delibird. None of them get the best out of the type. The first 2 didn't get any sort of goodness out of the ice type until the physical special split, and Delibird is consistently let down by the fact that it's a Delibird. I toy with replacing headbutt with return. If flinch was guaranteed, I'd keep it, but sheer raw power might be more useful. Mind you, I decide against it for the moment. There's 2 thunder waving Magnemites in the steel gym who I might struggle with. I doubt we'll be able to one-hit them. I put a paralysed Cure Berry on Sparks and head off to fight. So the headbutt does just over half its health. It'll be a 2-hit for sure, and thankfully the first Magnemite fails with Thunder Wave, which is something that gives me a big sigh of relief because the berry can only be used once. We don't get a flinch on the second Magnemite, just a crit that doesn't quite end it as a threat, and it hits us with a Thunderbolt that wipes out over half our health. Yikes! We take it out with the second headbutt. Versus Steelix, I throw up a double team, but it inflicts a rock throw on us that wipes out more of our health, leaving us with a sliver. I hit a headbutt, hoping for the flinch, but it never comes, and a second rock throw takes us out. Okay, we need to be stronger. I try again at level 51, and I will just say that grinding is pretty bad at this point, given the general low levels of Johto. I'm actually wondering if the Whirl Islands might not be a bad place to grind at this point. I've been doing it on the route leading up to the Lake of Rage. The Magnemites go well in this attempt because we do at least get flinches on both of them, meaning that they can't hit us with electrical attacks. There's still 2 hits with headbutt, but getting 2 flinches, 1 on each of them, is what I'd call pretty good. We're at full health going into Steelix, and we get 3 double teams up as soon as possible. By my calcs, and that sounds so much better than vague guesswork, I figure it will probably 3-hit me with the damage output on Rock Throw. This is where the luck runs out, as we get absolutely no flinches whatsoever with headbutt. I mean, some of the rock throws do miss, so that's handy, but stopping it from attacking full stop would be better. Hidden Power barely does any more damage than headbutt, so I think I'll get a few more levels and take it from there. Attempt number 3 comes at level 55. Whirl Islands aren't actually that bad for grinding, so that's something I'll have to remember. I'm more worried about losing the paralysed Cure Berries on failed attempts. I mean, it's not like those berries grow on trees, is it? This goes strangely mixed, as we don't get the flinches on the Magnemite and they don't fail with Thunder Wave. We can deal with the first one, no problem, thanks to the handy berry, but the second Magnemite leaves us paralysed going into Steelix. We do get some good damage on it over time. It can only 4-hit us now, so we're getting stronger. The problem is that we don't get any flinches, and with us being paralysed, I don't dare go for double team. Even paralysed, we are still faster than Steelix, so there is that. We only get fully paralysed once, but even as we drop it into yellow health, it's not enough. Plus, she uses a hyper potion, so that will make it worse. The next attempt is at level 58. I swap out Headbutt for Return, just to test a theory, and I'm quite relieved to see that when we begin the fight, Return is actually strong enough to one-hit each of the Magnemites. So, that's a really good thing. It means we don't have to worry about being paralysed by Steelix, and we can go into that fight on full health. I get 4 double teams up, but it somehow manages to land Rock Throw repeatedly through them, only missing once. It 4-hits us, but our return does about a 5th, so potentially we can 10-hit it when you factor in the potion. I make it sound so easy when I put it like that. The 5th attempt comes at level 61, so I'm really getting fed up of the grind by this point. Hey, it could be worse though. This could have been what I'd had to do for the Ghost Gym, so there is that. At least I have got better options for levelling. Steelix, we get a double team up and then knock it down to the half health mark with Hidden Power and Return. I even throw up a Soul double team. The bad news is that we're also getting hit with Rock Throws. one of them even being a crit, because of course it would be. Last time I got a crit in this fight was 13 levels ago at the very first attempt. We get it down to about a quarter, and I think she's going to heal, and so I go for another double team. But we are in red health, and she lands a rock throw to finish us. Part of me wonders if that might have been KO range for hidden power, but I guess we're never going to know now. One thing with all this grinding, the next bit of the game, I reckon, is going to flow by super fast. Next attempt is 3 levels later. This time, versus Steelix, we go for all out attack with hidden power. We're up to being 5 hits, and I reckon that we could probably 8 hit it with hidden power, each blow doing like a quarter of its health. She does heal into the bargain, so that doesn't help. It's not like Gen 3 onwards when I can bait her into using the potion on something else. Jasmine, Price and Claire are all programmed only to heal their ace, which sucks pretty badly, I'll admit. Considering we're quad weak to rock, I should be glad that we don't take more damage. It's a balancing act. If I double team, then it's more turns for me to be hit. I don't even think there's a way we can heal significantly. No citrus berries or shell bell in this game, and leftovers aren't until post-game in Kanto. About the best I can get is a gold berry, which heals 30 HP, which isn't going to do me any sort of good. I get to level 66 and also acquire the King's Rock from Slowpoke Well, which in this game gives an 11% chance of flinching. I like those odds. Surely one of the attacks I throw at Steelix has to pull that luck for me. I can keep getting stronger and hoping for the best, or I can try something different. Anyway, both the Magnemites go down to return, and then we're up against the Steelix. Something is different in this fight, and it goes to me. We hit 2 hidden powers, we get hit with 2 rock throws. The good thing is that with her slightly under half health, Jasmine's nerve goes and she heals, wasting the hyper potion early. So that's pretty good for me. We wear it down again, get knocked down to about a third of our health, and we hit a hidden power that finally causes the flinch, putting her Steelix on red health. We probably have survived the blow anyway, but it's good to be sure as we put it down for the count and finally get the badge. That's a relief. Now, let's go and annihilate the next section of the game. I'm pretty sure I didn't have to be that high leveled when I did this game with both Pichu and Togepi. Yep, but at least we got a ground move then. Granted, it was Mud Slap, but still. Next is the rival fight in the Goldenrod Underground, and I think he might be in for a shock when he sees the size of the task ahead of him. Having your entire team get murdered by an oversized dragonfly can do that for you. It's as I start to clear out the radio tower, I realise I never got the radio card for the poker gear. I should probably go get that before I do the post game in Kanto. I don't want to end up soft locked. Anyway, rival fight. Golbat is a one hit with hidden power before Magnemite comes out next and we one hit it with return. We've had plenty of practice there. Quilava is a one hit with return before Haunter is next and we shoot it down with hidden power. Sneasel comes out last and just to complete the sweep we down it with return. Easy. Although having a 35 level advantage does help. Just a quick face off with Archer and we're done here. I know he's not named Archer here, but we might as well refer to the unnamed rocket executive as Archer Mark 1. It's as good as anything. We one-hit his team completely, as you might expect, tearing through Houndour, Coughing and Houndoom in pretty short order. Again, thanks to the prep for the Steel Gym, we're massively over-leveled for this section of the game. Probably the section of the game being anything before the final red fight. Let us head off towards the final gym so we can keep this show going. It's not long before I conquer Ice Path and rock up in Blackthorn City, ready to take on Claire for the final badge. I don't think we'll have a lot of issues with her Dragonair. Kingdra could be tricky, but realistically, we're strong enough that we are going to be able to brutalise it with a few hits. Even if I do doubt we'll one-hit it, I really don't think that'll happen. She states that she can hold her own versus the Elite Four, but can she hold her own against an irate Dragonfly? Dragonair number 1 is a one-hit with return. Dragonair number 2 is a victim of the if it ain't broke don't fix it policy, and we one-hit it with return. Dragonair number 3 follows the pattern and we one-hit it with return. Kingdra is last, I go for return, it duly one-hits it from full health, showing that I don't have a clue what I'm on about at all. I don't think I've ever one-hit Claire's Kingdra before, so that's something. Again, 30 level advantage thanks to the grind for the Steel Gym. Normally, the next major fight would be the final mandatory rival one in Victory Road, but there's no footage. Here's a devastating story. I did this fight, I got all the way to Kanto and 2 gyms in, and then we had a power cut due to a thunderstorm outside. And all my recorded footage was wiped out for the rival fight, for the Elite Four, and for the champion. I was devastated, especially since the game saves after defeating the champion, so it wasn't like I could go back and do it again. I think the only fair thing to do is go back through and battle the Elite Four again, just to show that I did. If you do want the story of what happened, we got beat first time by Bruno, thanks to his Onyx critting a rock slide on us, but everyone else we beat on the first attempt, so I guess we best go do this. So annoyed. First time we were here was level 74, here we're at 80 and here are our stats. I'm going to play through this as fast as I can because I'm literally so annoyed that a few hours worth of work was wasted. Will is easy as we can one-hit most of his team. Xatu, Jinx and the second Xatu all go down to return, while Slowbro is a 2-hit with Thief, but Executor is a 1-hit with the Dark type move. Koga isn't much of a problem. Ariados is a 1-shot with Hidden Power. Crobat survives Hidden Power at the first attempt before he hits us with Wing Attack and heals it. Our second Hidden Power takes it down. Venomoth is a 1-hit with Hidden Power before we face off with Fortress, always a contender for his most annoying. A Hidden Power and 2 returns take it down, despite it trying to protect itself with Protect. Muck survives Hidden Power, uses Minimize, but we take it down with a second Hidden Power. Bruno is easy as we breeze out to battle him. Hitmontop is a 1-hit with Return. Onyx goes down to a crit Hidden Power before Hitmonchan is also taken out with Return. Machamp is a 1-hit with Return, and Hitmonlee doesn't do much better before being 1-hit at the first attempt with Return. Karen is last and it's a pretty clean fight, cleaner than the first attempt on her anyway. Umbreon survives Return, but we get the flinch thanks to the King's Rock and take it out at the second attempt. Houndoom is a 1-hit with Return. Gengar is a 1-hit with Hidden Power. Murkrow goes down to Return before Vileplume is last and goes down to Hidden Power. Last is Lance. I know from the last time Gyarados is his least dangerous Pokemon, and so I put 4 double teams up versus it before we one-hit it with Return. We can't one-hit the Dragonites, but at least the first one misses Thunder Wave as we 2-hit it with Return. The second one is a 2-hit with Return, but it somehow manages to land Blizzard through 4 double teams, I call cheat. Aerodactyl is a 2-hit with Return, but it does land Rock Slide through 4 double teams to put us on red health. Double cheat! Charizard is a 1-hit with Return, while the last Dragonite is a 2-hit with Return, but misses Fire Blast to go down hard. And with that, we enter the Hall of Fame. Again, it only seemed fair. Was pretty perfunctory, but it was what it was. So yeah, if you're in the process of recording a video in OBS, if you've got half an hour of footage and the power cuts out, that video footage is lost. Hence the reason for this. The rival fight in Victory Road, that footage is likely lost forever. Or at least it was on my current settings. I know how to fix it for the future, but it doesn't do me a whole lot of good now. I've not had a lot of fortune recording this video with stuff getting lost. Now then, Kanto. Because of course it's not over yet. Given there's the post game, we might as well go do that, see how we stack up. Most of the gym leaders in Kanto are pretty insipid, so we're only going to look at the final one, being the OG rival, Blue, and the secret final boss, Red. The first fight is Blue in the Viridian City gym, and he begins with Pidgeot. Sparks hits Return, but it narrowly survives and counters with a Wing Attack for decent damage. We have leftovers though, so we're going to be restoring health throughout, plus Giga Drain. Our second Return crits it to take it out. I dare him to send Rhydon out next. He does, and we down it in 1 hit with said Giga Drain. Arcanine is next, it survives Return and then hits a Flamethrower for big damage, but we survive with plenty to spare. He starts to spam full restores, meaning we have to whittle him down again and again, but that's not a bad thing because we're getting more health back every turn. Eventually, we down it and he sends Gyarados in. We hit 2 Giga Drains and Return to get our health back, at least somewhat temporarily, as it crashes a Hyper Beam into us. Executor is 5th and we land a crit Return to take it down before Alakazam is out last. Blue's team has a lot of overlap with other major trainers in this game, We end Alakazam with Return. I mean it though. Faulkner uses Pidgeot's pre-evolved form. Brock uses Rhydons. Lance uses Gyarados. Will uses Executor. Sabrina uses Alakazam. And Blaine had Arcanine in pretty much every other game appearance barring these games and their remakes. I wonder if it was intended for Arcanine to be Blue's ace and that's the reason. Probably not. Blue's team is basically what it'd be if he didn't have a starter Pokemon in Gen 1. Just Red then. I'm in the low 90s level wise and I'm not sure if it'll be enough. But I guess we'll have to see. I suppose it'll depend on how we do versus Charizard. Snorlax could be rough too, but we will have to see. Anyway, Pikachu is a one hit with Return when the fight begins, as might be expected. Charizard is next and we 2-hit it with Return, but we do get blasted with a massive flamethrower. Blastoise we hit 2 Giga Drains on to get some health back, but it does hit us with Blizzard for big damage. I tried Giga Drain on Snorlax, but it is a special defensive wall and doesn't get hurt much. We take it out with some returns, but do get hit with 2 body slams. Thankfully, there's no paralysis. Venusaur goes down to Return and 2 hidden powers. Thankfully, we don't have too much to worry about there. It hits a Solar Beam, but doesn't do much damage as we quad resist Grass. Espeon is last. We hit it with Return. It survives on red health. We're just under half health and it goes to Psychic and it crits me to beat me. How unlucky is that? Okay then, time to grind. I get up to level 95 and then make another effort. We were close last time for sure. Hit a little harder, get hit a little softer, we could do it. I knock out Pikachu and then as I'm fighting Charizard, I realise I forgot to put the leftovers back on after grinding on the Elite Four. Drat. So, it's reboot and have another go at it. This time, when we do the fight, it goes very similarly to before. Pikachu goes down the same way. Charizard and Blastoise both go down the same way. Snorlax doesn't go for amnesia this time, instead trying to wreck us with 2 body slams, but thankfully no paralysis. We can 2-hit Venusaur with Return this time, which is a good thing because it means we have got health to spare going into Espeon. We still can't 1-hit it with Return, but thankfully this time it doesn't crit Psychic on us and we survive with red health in order to take it down with another Return and win the run. So, another challenge down. Yanma is way better than I thought it'd be. I mean, the moveset was a letdown, but we knew that going in, and we were just lucky that we got a Psychic type hidden power. That made things insanely easier in the Ghost Gym and plenty of fights throughout. It meant I didn't have to rely on Thief at least, so that was something. I think Yanmega might be pretty good as well, based on the admittedly few times that I've acknowledged its existence. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Click the like button, smash away at the subscribe, help the channel grow. If you have any ideas for future challenges, drop them in the comments section below, or there's a links in the description to my Twitter and my Discord. Can't wait to hear what gets suggested. Next week, as priorly mentioned, it's Pokemon Fire Red with a single Duskull, so we'll have to see how that one goes. Anyway, again, very sincerely, thanks for watching. What's going on with me? Well, I did previously mention how well the Emerald with Beauty Contest moves did. I was pleased by that. Over 2,000 views and counting. Might not be a lot for some on YouTube, but for me, that's a pretty big deal, given my last previous best was over 500 views for the Emerald with Nincada video. Maybe people just like challenges in Pokemon Emerald. I call it pretty significant anyway. So yeah, if you were someone who checked it out, thanks a lot. At time of recording, I'm about to start another working week, so see what this one brings. Moving swiftly on, I just ate some beautiful scrambled eggs and feeling very sated, so that's a good feeling. Hopefully, we can start letting the dog take a lot of long runs again after her surgery soon, because she enjoys sprinting around and it's not been fun for her the last week being confined to the leash. It's not going on the channel, but I did start a save file of Ocarina of Time just to get used to the controls again, so that was something different. Maybe that's a hint for something I'll be doing in the future. I'm glad this video is over. Challenge wasn't too bad, but some of the problems with this, with the footage, made it probably one of the most irritating to date. Opening bit of the game, up to the first rival fight, there was no video, just sound, which did not help. And we all know what happened with the Elite Four. It's several hours later and I've just about calmed down now. Damn weather. I've done enough talking for the time being and I think I want to go and record some Let's Go Pikachu. And so I think I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to call it Thanks so very much for being here. This has been Once a Future Gamer, and this has been Pokemon Silver with a single Yanma. Take care, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and see you next time. Bye-bye now.